Why did the U.S. veto a ceasefire in Gaza? The UN Security Council held an emergency meeting after the UN Secretary General invoked Article 99, a rare move to force a vote on an immediate ceasefire. 13 countries voted in favor, the UK decided not to vote, and the US voted against it. The US representative to the UN said the US vetoed the resolution because it was rushed and imbalanced. He said the Security Council failed to acknowledge that Israel has the right to defend itself and that a ceasefire would allow Hamas to continue to have control over Gaza. That was echoed by Israel's defense minister. Security Council resolutions are the only resolutions that have the potential to be legally binding, which is why member states consider it so important to get full agreement. The US's opposition has been met with backlash from many of its allies. Jordan's foreign minister called it an endorsement of further killing of Palestinians, further violations of international law, further commitment of war crimes.
Greetings, I'm Fanon Everlasting, President, Founder, and only member of the Universal Intelligence Agency, and this is an intelligence briefing for the date of Tuesday, December 12th, 2023, and let me get right into it. According to Wikipedia, the United Nations was formed on October 24th, 1945, to replace the League of Nations following World War II. Its mission to promote international cooperation and prevent another conflict. I'm assuming that this is meant to be interpreted as a world conflict, like a world war, just as a side note. As we could see, this international body already failed at its mission before I could even get a chance to say anything about it. Believe it or not, its predecessor, the League of Nations, according to Wikipedia, was set up in 1919 in the aftermath of World War I, in the hope that international cooperation and collective resistance to aggression might prevent another war, another world war. They obviously failed at this task too, didn't they? So in 1919, the League of Nations was set up to prevent World War II in the aftermath of World War I, and only 26 years later, in 1945, after World War II, mind you, in hopes to prevent World War II, the United Nations was formed. Following so far? In the date of October 7th, 2023, a day that will live in infamy, a group of militant fighters from the Gaza Strip coordinated a well-planned and executed military strike against the Israeli government and its citizens, resulting in the deaths of hundreds of citizens and the kidnapping of many as well, to be used as leverage for the exchange of thousands of prisoners held captive in Israeli prisoners. A day, again, that will live in infamy. In response, Israel, embarrassed at its failure, decided to respond by killing over 18,000 people in the 66 days since October 7th at this point. I could go on to list the crimes that were committed in the process, but the whole world knows that this is a genocide. 6 days ago, the UN Secretary General invoked Article 99 of the body to convene all the members of the Security Council to address the matter, to force a permanent ceasefire, and if passed, the resolution would have been lawfully binding, which would have ended the ceasefire, and humanitarian aid could come in, talks can resume and they can handle it diplomatically. So there are 15 nations on the council. There are 10 non-permanent, 5 permanent, and the 5. It just so happens that on the Security Council, 5 permanent members with veto powers happen to be on the Security Council, right? And of the 5 that have the veto power, the U.S. is the only one who has chosen to exercise that power and veto the resolution. Everyone else voted in favor of it. Britain chose to abstain, and the U.S. voted against it. Britain, I don't even know. Britain is responsible for this whole thing, giving Israel the territory, after the Balfour Declaration and all of that anyway. So, if anything, they share a sense of responsibility in this whole thing even existing. But I won't continue to go there right now. I won't focus on that. So the U.S. is the only one who has chosen to exercise that power and veto the resolution allowing Israel to continue its murderous campaign against 1.8 Palestinians until the end of the year, which may result in many more thousands of deaths by then. That the blood of all those people are in the U.S. on the U.S.'s hands from that point. Yet another example of the failure of this international body. The track record for the success of this international body and its predecessor is really bad. Here we are on the cusp of World War II, and they can't even stop a genocide that we can see happening play by play, acting out on the world stage, and they can't even prevent that. So what are they good for? So now for the point of this message, leave a comment below if you think that the UN is a useless organization that's at a huge cost to taxpayers all around the world or governments all around the world, and it should be abolished, and that the whole world is being played. Thank you very much for your time. Talk to you later.